My name is Dwayne McEachran.
Elliot Earl Lloyd Thompson.
Katora Justina Morris.
Natasha Tiffany Harris.
Nicholas Anthony Russell.
Lionel Timothy Morse. So what do I do professionally? I do personal finance.
Professionally, I'm a tailor.
I am a realtor. Professionally, I'm also a business and money mentor.
So I actually work as an EA currently. I work as an executive assistant for a healthcare assistive company.
I am a business coach as well as a marketing coach. So I help individuals that are looking to get started with their business, really showing them how to sell, how to market, how to really increase the value of their brand so that they can provide a service that is meaningful for their clients and also selling it at a premium price.
Professionally, I am an educator, currently a vice principal in the public schooling system.
So I went to school for real estate. I went to college for real estate, but I've worked in the finance industry for quite some time. So, I mean, on-job training, experience, life.
So I went to college and for 4 years. And I did personal finance.
Surprisingly, I kind of just got into it. I really just honed on my skills that I have as, someone who's very organized, someone who likes things in its proper place, and I function well working with people in leadership positions. So that's kind of how I got into this position.
It's funny because going into this and what I'm doing right now it's not really related to my profession. And I would say what I did in school didn't really help me get where I get what I'm doing right now. But I would say, what I did was marketing management at Ryerson University. But before that, I finished my diploma, my advanced diploma in Humber College, as well as my regular diploma in business management.
For this profession, I did a bachelor's degree in études françaises. And for most of my career, I worked as a French immersion teacher. So there was ongoing courses to maintain a particular standard in the field. But then I got involved in different school leadership opportunities that led me to continue with my school leadership training, which has now landed me in the role that I currently occupy as vice principal in the school.
My formative years were a whole lot of Sunday school and memory verses.
Being active in Sunday school, the pageants, the Sunday school programs.
You had to know the memory verse by the end of the week so that you could recite it on Sunday.
I grew up in church. At first, you go to church and you know of Jesus. I didn't really know Jesus, didn't really have a relationship with God.
I didn't get the Holy Spirit until age 13. I was the last one in my family to get the Holy Spirit.
Growing up in the family that I did, it was one that was very, I would say, heavy on church attendance.
Every single Sunday, go to church. Throughout the week, probably a couple times, go to church as well. But it wasn't until probably in my teens that I actually started to have a relationship with God.
Once I received the Holy Spirit, my life changed completely.
My parents went to Dominica as missionaries, and they started a church back when I was 3 years old. So I was going to school during the days and during the mornings, and obviously during the afternoons. And in the evening, I would be literally at the location where the church was being built.
That's a good question. So did I think that where I am now is where I would end up? In all honesty, probably not.
I've been doing a lot of reflecting at my age now, and really thinking back at where I wasn't necessarily thinking about 10 years from now, 5 years from now. So it was very difficult to say, this is where I wanted to be or this is where I would have been.
But on a natural space, I would probably say no. I mean, life has a way of happening even when we don't expect it.
Even when I look back on my early formative years as a young Christian, I always wanted to be a part of the music industry. I loved being a part of the choir and enjoyed it, but never in my mind did I see myself in my future as being an elder.
I couldn't have conceived this, even the profession that I'm in right now. This was not what I thought I was going to be doing. This is not where I thought I was going to be.
If you're brought up in a way that is, teaching you the gospel, teaching you how to live as a believer, as a Christian. I would say, in order for me to be who I am, that it certainly taught me to do so. What was the process like to get to where I am? I'm going to say it's been an uphill battle.
There were times where I sought opportunities and those doors were closed to me, and it hurt. But then I had to make a decision to get myself together.
Being a black man in this country, Canada, there are some stigmas, unfortunately, that we do go through.
There are many times where there were experiences of hurt and harm along my journey. In the church, I can understand when people talk about church hurt. We all go through it in some way, but I find that it is in those moments my faith in God became even more real.
External factors that I have absolutely no control over that has caused me to be somewhat delayed, but also sometimes I'm delayed by myself.
Getting to know yourself as you grow. I'm still quite young, but all of those challenges, and then also I guess within the world and the society that we're in, like keeping my relationship with God first and making sure that He's the center of everything.
Because it's one thing to see something in your head, right? It's one thing to picture yourself being, in a certain place and going in a certain direction up here. But when it comes down to the follow through, when you have to actually put things into place and be who you thought you would be, sometimes it can be daunting.
It brings the Lord joy to bring us through these valleys of life so that He can bring forth a greater purpose in our lives to reach the world and fulfill His plan.